Shanti Shanti.
Pariksha lokan, pariksha karmachitan lokan. Karmachitan means whatever loka have to be obtained, lokas have to be obtained by performing rituals or jaga, yajna, etc. So he should examine all the promises given in the karma kanda, and if he really examines, then he will come to a dispassionate state of mind. Nirvedamayan. He will have dispassion towards all of them. If they think properly, if we think properly, then we will not be interested in them anymore, because that is not going to take us to anything permanent. See, he says, Nasti akritah kritena. Akritah means which is nitya, which is never changing, uncaused. Kritena means whatever karma we do. That means by causality you cannot get anything which is permanent. Anything that is within the fold of, within the ken of causality, the cause dies and the effect is born. There is no question of any permanence at all. Any causality, if we go to look for the ultimate reality, it is not by, it cannot be within the causal range, because causality means there will be a change in the cause to produce the effect. So it will be within the fold of causality in that case. Then you will not get the ultimate substratum or the nitya vastu, which on which the whole universe is appearing to be. The meaning of that is very deep. It means that the universe is not appearing out of causality. Everything within the universe is within the fold of causality. But when we look for the ultimate truth, by definition it has to be beyond causality. Because if it is within cause, then again we will ask, what is the cause of that? You will look for another cause, and it will go on infinite times like that. It is called infinite regression or anavastha dosha. That means you will never get a steady platform on which you can think about it. So the world as it is under the causality, it will go on in a cyclic manner. But if you look for the substratum on which this magic is going on, the magic of the world, the cycle of the world is going on, that substratum, it is not within the fold of causality at all. It is not even an object. It is the subject, that consciousness that we are referring to as I. It cannot be determined anything as object before us. That we should understand very well. So generally, if that is so, then if we say the world is produced out of it, that is also not very true, because by that again we are trying to link the universe to the, by causality, to that ultimate truth. It is not like that. The whole universe is appearing in that consciousness. It is not out of any material cause, causality. I have told earlier also, generally by causality we mean parinama srishti. That means some material is there which gets changed into the effect, another material. But for the universe to start to function on the substratum, it cannot be a parinama srishti, then the cause will undergo a change. So we have the model of vivarta srishti, vivartavada, which means that it is an apparential creation, and it can be established by going into our perceptions also. When we are perceiving something, it is all appearing in our consciousness. Even in the dream, the moment we dream of our mother, immediately the mother is there for us to interact with in the dream. Immediately she is there. So there is no causal that I have thought about mother first and then the mother appeared. It is not like that. The thought itself is producing the mother there. Whatever we produce, a palace, the moment I think of the palace is there. You don't have to produce out of causality. Like that, the whole universe is appearing in the consciousness. That is what is meant by. He understands that nasti agritah kritena. By the causality we can never reach anything which is unchanging, which is permanent, which is nitya vastu. So what shall he do? What should he do? He says, tad vijnanartham. I came back to this shloka to say that now here in this verse they are saying Vedanta vijnana sunishchitarthaha. Here he said, tad vijnanartham sa gurum eva abhigachet samitpani shrotriyam brahmanishtam. So therefore he understood that the whole universe is within the fold of causality and there is no permanence here. So to look for immortality or permanence, because the rishis have told about that, Srinvantu Vishve Amritasya Putraha, that you are all children of immortality. Only by attaining the permanent we get rid of all our problems. All those things one will know. So to know, to realize and actualize the truth, that what is that, by knowing which everything will become known, as Shaunaka asked right in the beginning, Kasminnu bhagavo vijñāte sarvamidam vijñātam bhavati iti. That was his question right in the beginning, on which the whole Mundakopanishad is based. We should not forget the question. That was the question placed before Angiras. Now in the beginning, Angiras says that you have done all the rituals, karma and various worldly, secular karma, religious karma, everything you have done. You have to analyze them very well and come to the conclusion that the permanent cannot be attained by anything of that sort, any karma at all. Therefore, what shall you do? Tad vijnanartham sa gurum eva avigachet. To actualize the knowledge, to know what is that nitya vastu, he has to go to the Guru. Mark the word here, gurum eva avigachet. He has to go only to the Guru, not to the President of India or USA, or to the Prime Minister, or to the richest person in the world, the most famous person in the world. No. He has to go to the Guru. And what kind of a Guru? Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. Shrotriya means one who knows the Shastras well. But to take the actual meaning, it means one who has realized the essence of the Shastras. What are the Shastras? What are the Shastras aiming at? Aiming at this realization. So a Guru who has realized the essence of the Shastras, and after realizing the essence of the Shastras, he cannot but be Brahmanishtam. That means he has to be completely, wholesomely dedicated to Brahman and Brahman alone. Because for him there is nothing else in the world. Everything is Brahman and Brahman alone. So no residue will be left in him except Brahman. Everything for him will be Brahman. Such a Guru one must go. How should he go? Samitpanihi means with humility. Samitpani means carrying some firewood in hand. Those days firewood was necessary for the Guru. So carrying something which will be useful for the Guru. It means actually with a humble mindset, humble intelligence, with lot of humility we should approach the Guru. For what? Tad vijnanartham. With the aim of actualizing this knowledge of the truth, unchanging, immortal truth. Now that was the beginning. You go to the Guru and you learn, and the Guru tries to impart in you the essence of the Shastras, everything, as it is spoken of in the Kathopanishad also. Now here, after doing that, he says that Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitarthaha. That once we have ascertained the aim of life on the basis of Vedanta Vijnana we have now known, going to the Guru, then we ascertain that that is the real aim of life, the real object of life, that is the ultimate goal of life. Sunishchitartha, that means he has ascertained, he has no more doubt that this is the permanent and I want to have only that, I don't want anything at all. When such a selection comes that I am not interested in anything in the world at all, I am only interested in the truth. As we said earlier, that yamevaisha vrinute tena labhyaha tasyaisha atma vrinute tanum swam. That we have to choose this atma in preference to everything else in the world. When that is made, then naturally sannyasa yoga, the question of sannyasa comes in. What is sannyasa yoga? Sannyasa means samyak nyasa, means renunciation. Now this renunciation, if you leave everything outside also, the renunciation may not be done, because the real renunciation is within. It is the renunciation of the ego, it is the renunciation of the desires, and finally it is the renunciation of kartri bhoktri bhava, kartritva and bhoktritva. Whatever we do, when we look within, you will find that everywhere it is, I have done this, I have done that, or I have to do this, I have to do that. That kartritva I am doing, it doesn't go. And bhoktritva, everywhere that I want to enjoy, even when a person is trying to do meditation for self-realization also, the moment they get a little bliss from within, they run after the bliss. That means we want the bhoga. We are not satisfied with whatever we have got from the world. Any kind of bhoga we have got from the world, be it fame, money, or any kind of sense enjoyments, we are not satisfied with it. The moment the from within also we get the ananda coming out, the bliss coming out. Immediately we again and again we try to go into the meditation looking for that bliss. That as long as this bhoktri bhava, this bhogecha, we call it bhogecha, means that eagerness to enjoy, the tendency to enjoy, it is there, that Advaita cannot come, because by its very nature it is segregating that I am wanting to enjoy something which is different from me. Even the self, the idea, innate idea will be that as if self is different from me and I want to enjoy that, going into that, I want to enjoy that. So that will prevent the ultimate realization. This Kartri Bhoktri Bhava, the renunciation of the Kartri Bhoktri Bhava is the real sannyasa. Bhagavad Gita says, Jneyah sa nitya sannyasi yonadveshtina kankshati nidvandvo hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. There he has said, Jneyah sa nitya sannyasi. Know that person as a nitya sannyasi. Always he is a sannyasin. Yonadveshtina kankshati. Who never have any desire, he does not have any preference, and nadveshti, he does not have any hatred, he does not have the preference and prejudice, he does not have any desire, he does not have any hatred. Now, if this is the internal sannyasa, then don't we need the external sannyasa is the question. Sannyasa yoga, they have said, it may mean both, it may mean one, so we have to understand it. Now, do we need the external sannyasa is a question. Now, in sannyasa also there are major two kinds of sannyasa. One is called the Vividisha sannyasa, another is called Vidvat sannyasa. Vividisha sannyasa is the common sannyasa where we take up sannyasa as a support for our pursuit. For the Vividisha means with the eagerness for knowing, the intention to know the truth. That means as a pursuit of life, we take to the sannyasa style, the sannyasa ashrama of life, so that our spiritual pursuit becomes wholesome, one-pointed, and we are not distracted by anything of the world. So we go away from the world, or we take up sannyasa and go to some ashram and pursue anything of that sort. That is called Vividisha sannyasa. And Vidvat sannyasa is when one has attained the knowledge, that means internal sannyasa has already come. If we realize the truth, then automatically we will not have the knot of the ego and the bondages of desires holding us, binding us. So for whom the knowledge has already come and he has become an internal sannyasin, he also undertakes the external sannyasa. Then it is called Vidvat sannyasa, that is after the knowledge taking up the sannyasa. But for him also it becomes necessary. It may not be absolutely essential, we cannot say, because Janaka Raja and all our Shastras refer to them. But the fact is that once he has realized the truth, he will not be interested in anything in the world for his own bhoga, for his own gain. He will not look for any gain. Even if it is a king, he will rule the kingdom with absolute renunciation. He will not look for anything from the kingdom. Only for the benefit of the people he may rule the kingdom. So what happens is that when the mind becomes a sannyasin, it becomes very difficult for him to live in the family, within the fold of the blood relations, matrimonial relations, or friends, etc. Those who are all given to worldliness, they have not left their worldliness. So why should he remain within the worldly interactions? Naturally, the natural consequence, the natural progression will be that his life will become completely wholesomely spiritual, and his interactions will be with the spiritual seekers. Even if his house people also happen to come to him, he will love everybody. His love will not be restricted to anybody at all. He will love his house people also. But if they are not spiritual, he will not have much interactions to do with them. So we should not think of sannyasa as cutting off all the relations and going away as if rejecting everything from the world. When it is a question of vidvat sannyasa or internal sannyasa, it works the other way. that the heart becomes larger and larger. The expansion of the being, it makes one so expansive and universal that he cannot be bound by a small family chain or any other small gandhi, say small limited framework. He cannot be held in that. So it takes place not out of a cutting off the love, cutting off affection, but extending the love and affection to the whole universe. So he embraces the whole universe as his own. So naturally, whatever takes place in that process, it takes place in that manner. The normal course will be, he will become a wholesome spiritual person. Whether he takes up the Gerua or remains in white, that is different. Even in about this Gerua also, I think people have a lot of misunderstanding. Normally this color, this has got two significant interpretations. One, we say that it is representing fire. Now why fire? Because knowledge is called fire. Jnana sarvakarmani bhasmasat kurute Arjuna. That is, Jnana, it completely burns off all the divisional feeling, all bheda buddhi, everything. So if bheda buddhi is not there, there won't be any desires also. So the spiritual knowledge is called Jnana Agni. So if you call it the color of fire, then it represents the fire of knowledge. The other interpretation is that it represents the color of the earth, because originally we were dyeing the clothes with geri mitti from the clay. So it is the color of the earth. Gerua is the color of earth. Why earth? Because earth represents tolerance. You can do anything on earth. Does she ever revolt? We can dig the earth, we can take away all the treasure from within the earth, we can spoil the earth, we can, right from the morning we are stamping over the earth, walking over the earth, all sorts of spoiling of the vegetation and everything we have done. But the earth never revolts or retorts, it never comes back with a reaction anything against us. That is the tolerance of the earth. Well, you can say that if you put too much of water, that as we have done in Bhakranangal, which resulted in an earthquake, so it is revolt, it is the reaction of the earth. It is not a revolt in the sense of pratihimsa or anything like that. If we put too much of water at one place, it is like, suppose we are given a huge load on one shoulder, then can we walk straight with that? You have to bend your body in the manner that your center of gravity remains within the body, otherwise you will fall. So when we go too much beyond the natural laws and we do something abnormal, we collect too much of water in a dam, the earth will have to adjust its load in other places or so that it can remain in balance. So the earthquake is the balancing of the earth. You cannot say that it is out of any pratihimsa, it is out of any revenge. No, earth has tremendous tolerance. It takes anything we do. Like that, a sannyasin also is never supposed to fight back. Suppose somebody abuses us, we are not supposed to fight back. Whatever is necessary for the benefit of the person, we may say something that is different. If somewhere we have to fight a revolution for the country, we will do it very well. That is not a problem. But because of our own ego, because of our own swartha, own gain, we will never fight back. A sannyasin should never fight back. Well, if we do, then we have fallen from that. A sannyasi is not supposed to fight back at all. He is never supposed to quarrel out of ego and out of some personal gain for some property or anything. He may go to the court case. If there is some legitimate case, he will fight in the court, because he will look for the justice of the society. But out of any personal swartha, any personal gain or so, he will never fight back. So that is the meaning of the Gerua in other sense. So this is what is meant by sannyasa. Sannyasa, we should remember, we have a gross misunderstanding that it is cutting away from all love, affection and everything and becoming a dry stone-like person going away into the forest or cave. It is not like that. Temporarily it may appear to be like that when it is Vividisha sannyasa. In Vidvat sannyasa, it is an expansion of the soul which embraces the whole world within his fold of love. So his love is no more barter, like when you say A loves B, if B does not love A, then that love is gone. A also does not love B anymore. In the case of a sannyasin, it is not like that. His love is flowing, welling forth and spreading to everywhere. It does not depend who else will love him or not. It will not depend on him. But certainly the benefit one gains from a saint will depend on the attitude of the person. How much he is humble, how much he is fond of the saint, it depends on that. So this is what the normal course of a spiritual growth will be. Sannyasa yoga yataya shuddha sattvaha. I have already explained shuddha sattvaha and a yati, a discipline. Yati means also a sannyasin, but generally the yati word means who is a disciplined person. And there also I mentioned that discipline is not a forced discipline or subdued from outside, controlled from outside. It is a natural, spontaneous discipline which is coming from within. He is so much in harmony, in tune with the soul. He is in tune with the breath of the soul, you can say. So that the discipline, it is a fundamental discipline coming from within. That is how he becomes a yati. So sannyasa yoga yataya shuddha sattvaha te brahmalokeshu paranta kale paramita parimuchyanti sarve. What happens to them? They paranta kale. Now normally our mrityu is antakala. Any change from cause to effect is for the cause it is an antakala. But parantakala is after which there is no further change, no further causality, no further mrityu at all. That means when we come to know that there is no janma mrityu for me, when the delusion of birth and death completely leaves us, then we call it the parantakala. That means the ultimate anta of janma mrityu, everything. So when the knowledge dawns and he goes beyond the mortal causal janma mrityu, then brahmalokeshu paramritaha parimuchyanti sarve. Now here there is a little strange, they have used brahmalokeshu, plural. So normally we will think that why it is a plural, brahmaloka is only one loka. Here brahmalokeshu is coming because of the te. Actually brahmaloka is not a loka, we should remember. We are figuratively saying in the Brahmaloka, but he is not going from here to Brahmaloka, not like that. Brahman, the realization of the Brahman is right here in the body, in this world. It is his own identity which he was thinking, that small, encapsulated by the body-mind personality, that I itself becomes the Brahman. Brahmavid Brahmaiva bhavati. So it is not going to another loka. So any sadhak, any seeker attaining this is his Brahmaloka. It is not a loka really, he is attaining. So since there is a plural in te, that plural in Brahmaloka also is given. It actually ascertains that they are not speaking about different Brahmalokas over there. Because it is plural, their attainment of the Brahmaloka is, in each case, it is separate, it is different. Paramritaha means that ultimate amritaha. It is not a temporary a long life or so, which can be also called as amrita or so. It is the ultimate which will never encounter any death at all. Death means birth and death both. There is no change at all. Parimuchyanti sarve. They cut asunder all kinds of bondages, all kinds of desires, everything. All knots are broken asunder, untied, and all the desires are dissolved. So parimuchyanti sarve. Sarve parimuchyanti. We will chant once more. Vedanta vijnana sunishchitarthaha
Vedanta vijnana sunishchitarthaha
sannyasa yogad yataya shuddha sattvaha
Sannyasa yogad yataya shuddha sattvaha
te brahmalokeshu parantakale paramrita parimuchyanti sarve. Next shloka. Gatah kalah panchadasha pratishtha It is 3.2.7. Gatah kalah panchadasha pratishtha
गता कला पञ्चदश प्रतिष्ठा
devascha sarve pratidevatasu
देवाश्च सर्वे प्रतिदेवतासु
karmani vijnanamayascha
कर्माणि विज्ञानमयश्च आत्मा
परे व्यये सर्व एकी भवन्ति
परे